Before assembling the blocks, there was one thing I didn't mention. Let's think about who is shooting the lightning. So this is also going to imply to us where we should code this program. So what it should look like is this when we assembled the code. But let's make sure this code is inside the rocket ship, because whenever we click the space key, we want the lightning bolts to come out of the spaceship. So technically, this code belongs in the rocket ship area. So make sure when you coded this program that we are back at the rocket ship. And let's make some room in our coding environment. That way we can trigger a new program when the flag is clicked. So when the flag is clicked, we have a new consistently forever code running, and we want to make sure if it's ever true. So let's check our if condition. Key space press, then create clone of lightning. So that's sensing. Key space pressed, and we want to create clones of ourselves. Well, clones of the lightning. So let's go into controls, and we're going to scroll down a little bit till we find create clone of myself. But we don't want clones of multiple rocket ships like I mentioned. We want clones of the lightning sprite. That way every time we click the space key, a new lightning sprite will come out of our spaceship. So this is what it should look like all together. So whenever the game creates a lightning sprite clone, the clone should appear and then move upwards until it reaches the top of the stage. Then the clone should disappear. So let's add this code to the lightning sprite so that the clone can move upward until it touches the edge of the stage. Then it gets deleted. So we have a new trigger now, but this trigger is going to be in our lightning sprite it shows. So let's go ahead and let's get out of the rocket ship sprite, because now we have to tell the lightning what to do after it starts as a clone. So that's our trigger, when I start as a clone, because our rocket ship creates them. So the lightning now has the trigger of what to do when we start as one. So when we start as a clone, we want to go to the rocket ship and show. So that's motion. We want to go to somewhere. So let's grab the code block, go to random position, but we don't want a random position. Let's go to the rocket ship. And since it wasn't showing, it's hiding, let's make it show and repeat until touching the edge. So looks for we can show. And now this lightning isn't doing something forever. It only has a temporary job, which is getting to the top of the screen. So therefore, our control block is not going to be a forever. We're going to use a repeat until, because this action is going to repeat until we are touching the edge of the screen. So we're sensing something at that point. Let's go to the sensing category till we are touching something. We don't want to touch the mouse pointer. We're focusing on touching the edge. And how are we going to get to the edge? That's what's inside our repeat until. Because until we get there, we're going to keep doing what's inside the loop. So to get up to the top of the stage, we are changing Y by 10. And if it were to get up to the edge, touching edge, once it reaches the edge, let's delete this clone. So let's go ahead and repeat until touching edge. If we haven't got to the edge, let's move there. So motion. To move upwards is using the X. No, not the X. X is left and right. We're going to be using the Y axis because that goes up and down. So let's change Y by 10. And once it reaches the touching edge, let's go into controls, and let's do the last code block to delete this clone. And I'm going to test it out. And after clicking the space bar, you should have shooting lightning bolts. Perhaps if you hold it, it will come out a spray of lightning bolts. But your trigger now should work. Make sure you're using a change Y by for your lightning bolts to go straight upwards. Great, great. Now we're going to work on space monsters.